Hi, guys. We are so excited to talk to you tonight. We have Eva and myself and Janice. We are going to talk to you about what coaching has done for us, like how have we changed as human beings since starting to coach, and what the kind of daily fundamentals look like, along with some of like the common Q&As that we get or common questions or kind of hesitations that we get along the way. So we're going to talk all about that tonight. And feel free to either write your questions in the comments if we haven't touched on them, or apparently you can raise your hand on this Zoom thing now, which is very exciting. It always throws me off, but don't be shy. We are here to just share all the things. So Janice is going to kick us off. She's going to talk a little bit about how has she changed, and she hit a pretty big goal today, and her team just hit a big goal today. So I just want to take a second to just shout her out and shout the girls out from her team, inspire her. This is like my favorite part though about coaching you guys. Like I could care less about what I'm doing. What I love is seeing like all of you guys growing and just hitting all the things. It's so exciting. So Janice, talk to us a little bit about how you've changed and a little bit about your journey.
Okay.
Where to start?
So I have a background in journalism, and I was a managing editor at one point, assistant managing editor at one point. I did not love leading people. I loved my coworkers. I felt like I was one of them, and so it felt weird being their manager and all of that. It was just like a very weird thing for me. I don't see myself as shy or coy or any of the things, but I also didn't see myself as a leader to them. I just felt like, hey, I got this promotion and yay, I'm doing this. I'm in charge of y'all. And I did it for a few years, but I guess I never, as much as they said I was a great boss, I just did not feel like a leader. Like I felt like, what am I doing? So coaching for me has shown me that I think I've shied away a lot from doing something like leadership. I think I'm good at like one-on-one, I do, those that know me know I do a little bit of stuff where I do help guide people in ways. I'm not a life coach. I'm just I guide people, but it's always been one-on-one, not a team. And it didn't really resonate for me until I started to build a team. Really, Lucretia, I have to really tip my hat to, because she was my very first, you know what, I'm going to go all in. And she actually, I know this is about how coaching changes us, but really it's Lucretia that helped change me, because I mean, she was sticking around and she wasn't running and she was listening and she was blossoming and doing things like amazing things, like stuff I'm still scared to do. I can't get on Body Live without worrying that my pants go fall off. And then here, Lucretia's getting shouted out by Lacey all the time, and Lacey sent her some shoes. I'm like, she just took off. And I just thought, maybe I'm not bad at this, because yes, she's my cousin, but it took 2 years for her to get yes, it is amazing watching her. It took 2 years to get her on board as a coach with me. And it's been fun organizing things with her. And so I think what coaching showed me is that I was hiding it under a little bushel and was not allowing myself to fully embrace that I could be a leader of a team. I'm definitely the Monty Python version of a leader, but I'm a leader just the same. And I think it helped me. It brought some confidence in that direction. Whereas before, I watched everyone excel and I was like, I don't think that that's me. I don't know if I can build a team and talk to a whole team. So I think it's brought a different level of confidence and belief in myself. And signing up as a coach was a no-brainer for me, because when I was in a slump after having Maya, even though she was almost 2, I think that I was still having residual stuff from having her. She was my first. I'm an older mom. I'm 44. I had her at 39. And I think that, just circumstances. And so when Natasha approached me with this opportunity, I think I knew, just because of my journalism background and stuff, that I was always the try guy. so to speak, if you know what, those guys that just do everything. So like my managers and everything, the editors always threw things at me to do on social media and etc. So I thought, I already do this. I ended up doing it in marketing as well for a Native American food company. I said, I'm going to do this journey publicly, then I want to make a business out of it. It didn't make sense to not go all in if I was going to do it. And it really helped me embrace some of the stuff that I do now. That I had a studio for 3 years and I did a lot of cool stuff that I wasn't fully out as the person that I am until coaching. I believe that it opened me up to, even though I thought it was super open, way too open, I think that it showed me that I had still been hiding some of myself and I needed that. So I don't know how long I can talk. So that's the cliff notes.
Cliff notes.
Yeah.
It's true though, Janice. Like I feel I started the same way. Like I started my journey because I needed to keep myself accountable. That's the only reason I started coaching. I had no interest in anything else. But I think what's been really cool is watching you from like year 1 to year 2, like how much you've grown in the last like year. Oh, I have goosebumps everywhere. Yeah, just in the last year alone, like you've just been like, bam, I don't give a shit. This is who I am. If you don't like me, see you the fuck later. Like, and I love that. I love that. Okay, Eva, do you want to share a little bit about you and what's changed for you?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. As I sit here with my fidget spinner, I'm like, okay, all right. That's okay. I've been on a bunch of these calls and absolutely, you know what, every time I get a little bit of nerves, but nerves always mean you care. And I really care about this. And every time I do something like this, I grow. And that is the biggest thing that I've gotten out of this coaching journey is the growth that I had no idea. Like personal development and all that things, you know, you think, oh, personal development, not for me and all that stuff. But like once you actually start like hearing about it or talking about it on a team call or like diving into something that you're really into and you're like, oh snap, like this, yeah, I understand, I get it. And being around a community of women who are all kind of on their own paths but collectively on the same path together is just like unmatched. It's a, yeah, goosebumps, he's there, yeah, like it's a feeling that I didn't know until I actually got into it. Like I had no idea. So I've grown as a woman, as a mother, as a partner, as a human being. But like, yeah, I jumped into coaching because I was like, I love working out at home. Okay, I'm gonna share this. Yes. But I had no idea that just sharing how much I liked working out at home because I had kids and all this stuff would really lead to opening up and, well, kind of like piggyback on what Janice is saying, like kind of opening up and blossoming, well, like Lucretia was doing and all that stuff. And kind of like rising into that leadership role that I had no idea. Slowly but surely, I like tiny humans, like small ones, like 5 and under. They're my jam. That's what I do. I'm a full-time early childhood educator. I'm on mat leave right now, but I do work for the school board, and like I get no problem. I can tell these little ones what to do. I have all the confidence in the world. If you are 14 years and under, I will sit with you. You know what? But like when it came to me at an adult level, I was always the one to take that shy spot. Would let others talk first, would let others lead. I found myself more of a follower. But then like a light's turned on. I'm like, that's changed. I've kind of learned to love to help guide women or somebody on their journey, but like mentor these women in my community, the coaches that have, well, my friends, really, I can't say that. They're my friends who have joined me along the way. That I've seen myself kind of rise from a follower to a leader. And now I feel I'll have that confidence to kind of lead others and like team calls, you know, I'm kind of like jumping in like, yeah, I'll talk or whatever like that. Whereas that was not me like two and a half years ago. And it just kind of, it's unlocked all the possibilities that I had no idea were out there. Like for growth and potential as a human. the possibilities of dreams. I didn't dream before.
Yeah,
I
same,
didn't have visions. Like
same.
I was just
Yeah.
like, oh, life. Okay, I want to meet somebody. I want to do this and that. But like dreams that I had no idea that were inside that are now like coming out, and I have, and coaching is helping me like step on those stones to get to those dreams. I don't want stones. No, step on the cloud. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like coaching has not just like it helped me like with money and stuff like that on the side, but I think the hugest takeaway is what it's done for me as a person. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I think like to piggyback on what you guys said, I think the biggest change for me, you guys know if you've been following for a while, my journey, like it was a rocky time. And I joined because I was like in the middle of postpartum depression and anxiety. And I felt like I needed to claw my way back to myself. And the only way I knew how to do that was through movement. And I was also struggling with like all kinds of history with like my family of origin and all that kind of stuff. But I never was the person who like stood out in the crowd. I would always be like behind. I was always social, but like I didn't like to be the center of attention. I didn't like to look, I really rarely posted. If I posted, it was like my baby or, like birthdays and stuff like that. I wasn't confident in who I was at all. I wasn't confident in pictures. I wasn't confident in like videos at all. I was the person who was always holding the camera for a strategic reason so that I wasn't in front of the camera, right? So for me, when Lindsay asked me to start coaching, I was like, you are insane. You are great. Like, this is not for me at all. And I said no for I think like 3 or 4 months. And then I finally joined in like January. But the only reason I joined was because I was going back to work part-time. And I knew that if I didn't have something to keep me accountable at that time in my life, I needed to be accountable to other people before I could be accountable to myself. Like I needed to show up for somebody else and in turn then show up for myself. But the same thing that like Janice and Eva said, I never dreamed. Like, I don't know if it's just the way we were brought up, maybe, I don't know, but like it wasn't something that we talked about or even allowed ourselves to talk about. It was always like, prepare for the worst, be excited if something good happens. Right? It was like always waiting for the other shoe to drop and not allowing myself to get excited about what the possibilities were. And that I think is the biggest change, like besides the confidence and besides like just owning who I am and really truly loving who I am, it's been that piece is allowing myself to look past like next week or next year and like knowing that those things are possible for me. Whereas before I would have been like, no, that's not for me. Like that's never going to happen. Whereas now I'm like, okay, yeah, I could totally do that. But that comes with work and it comes with growth and it comes with like committing to that personal growth side of things. And maybe you girls like Janice and Eva, you can unmute and see, like say what you think. But I think the other really big piece that's been a huge change that I never expected was the impact it would have on my family. And I think,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like it, and I can't even put it into words, but it's like, I am not the same human and I don't parent the same way that I did 5 years ago at all. And I can tell a huge difference between like, if I'm actually pouring into myself properly versus not every day. And I think that that's the biggest impact for me as like in leadership is that I get to see not just how Nora's life is now different and how she will never have to unlearn the things that I've had to unlearn as an adult. And she will never talk to herself the way that I used to talk to myself. But I now see like Maya and Charlie, and they're never going to have to do that. And I see Stella and I see Devin, and they're not going to have to do that. And like, it makes me super emotional because that is what my why is, right? Like for our team, I want to create massive impact for women, but in turn that trickles down to their kids, because I want to help women feel the very best that they can and go after the things that they want to go after and allow themselves to like blow those ceilings off of themselves and be the parent that their kids need them to be, because I never had that parent. Right. And I think that for me is like the biggest the biggest change that I never expected. I just thought I was working on myself and I didn't realize how that could impact everybody else around me, even my marriage, like my relationships, like all of those things. I don't know. I'll probably start crying.
No, it's absolutely
agree?
true. Like the fact that I've now, it's like eyes opening, right? You're aware of women and what we go through and all the stuff, like the magazines I grew up on and the Cosmo and the 17 and all the things that were put into us. You look like Kate Moss. You're supposed to look like this on the cover, da 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 da, like full of children now. But like that needs to stop, and that needs to stop with this next generation. And I know that there's a movement coming, but like I'm here for that wave, and I'm here to like drive that wave to my girls. And like you said, the language that they will never hear me say about my body, so that it goes into their head subconsciously. I was gonna say unconsciously, subconsciously, to give them that confidence to go throughout life, to trickle into their friends and their lives and their kids. And yeah, it's more than just working out, and it is so much.
I can piggyback on that, but to a point, I keep it funky. This is not
funky. I love it.
Coaching has not made my parenting any easier. And I'm just going to keep it. I'm going to give you the two sides. Is that I'm a journalist. Okay. It has not made my parenting easier, but what it has done is that I do think about pretty much all of you when I get on the scale, or if Maya's near me, or putting on clothes or anything where it looks like maybe I might not be being kind to myself, like I'm feeling the urge. I do stop myself before it happens. Like even when she wants to get on the scale, and because she just thinks it's fun, and we have a digital one.
Yeah, same.
What number is it? And then I'll tell her, because yes, when you go to the doctor, there's a number, but I say it doesn't mean anything other than that's the space you take, right? It's not. It means nothing. Yeah. And I do stop her sometimes, because I think school can do this, but like, am I pretty? Do I look pretty today? And I remind her how not important that is every single time. Whereas before, maybe I wouldn't have done that, because now I see the impact of how those type of childhoods and that type of situation has had on people that I know through this business. And so I'm way more cognizant. And also, yes, it helped me find that when I work out, I'm a better mommy. Yeah. It's not just about the physical, it's about the mental and taking that time. Yeah. And I love that they join me when they actually do it.
It's so true. And that's what I mean by coaching has changed my parenting. Not that like it's made it easier. It's just I'm a different person. So I physically parent differently now than I would have before. And like, if you follow me, I mean, Janice, you kind of have the same thing with your girls in terms of their energy level, but like Nora's hard to parent sometimes. And like, she triggers the shit out of me, like so bad. And if I didn't have all of those years of growth that I had worked on, or like if I hadn't poured into myself that morning, I probably would have responded the same way that my parents did. Right. And like that for me is, I think, the piece that's changed is that mindfulness and that awareness of how I'm communicating, how I want her, like what message I want her to get from me and all those things. And I think that like the ripple effect in what we do, like that's the cool thing. Yes, amazing. Like you can build a business anywhere. You can, if you put enough work, you can build a business anywhere. But what really makes this business different is the impact that it has on people and the relationships that you build along the way. And I think that for me is, it's everything. It's everything. Otherwise,
No, ahead, that's Denise. Amazing, because some of the stuff that you share, not just the journey, but the stuff that you share about how you do things with Nora has opened my eyes, and I wouldn't know that if I hadn't been a part of your team. Charla, for example, like doing this business introduced me to Charla. And spent more time with Charla, and she's tried to help me with Charlie, trying to get her on a better routine with sleep. And just that part too, that ripple effect. Everybody has this piece, or like Lucretia tagging on those motivational posts every morning, even if I don't reshare it, she tags anyway. it really is beautiful because then, I mean, and like Amanda had like a reel the other day and I was like, girl, yes, I totally felt that. I wouldn't know any of y'all without this. So, and y'all all show me something different with parenting too every day. And so, yeah, that's pretty
I
amazing.
love our team. I love our team. I met Janice online. Like I met her on Instagram and I like basically stalked her because I like loved her. And I was like, she needs to coach with us. She's amazing. And I think it was what, like 18 months, Janice, until you were like, all right, girl, fine.
All the time. Yeah, I didn't jump in right away at all.
No, I love it. I love it. Okay, so that's a little bit about us. And like, if you have specific questions about our journey, you can pop them in the chat. But we're going to talk a little bit now about like, what are the pieces of coaching, right? Like, what are the bits and pieces? So Janice is going to talk a little bit about how we actually earn an income. If you have specific questions about that, pop them in the chat, and then I might pop off on some of those things too.
Okay, yes, because you probably will, because I will forget something. I'm thinking. So there are a couple of ways that you can earn income. So first of all, you get commission on everything that you're like the person that you help. Oh my gosh, I just had a memory. I'm so sorry that happened on recording. Mel helped somebody and did not tell like it was the person I was talking. So not as a coach. Yeah, and I just forgot.
Love it. We'll recognize Mel. You're amazing. And we'll recognize the right actor.
So and we had a call today. We were talking about how you make money, and so you make money off of you get commission off of everything that everyone sells, 25%. Yeah. Yes, everything that is sold. So it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's a pair of tennis shoes, a pair of socks, those bar socks, 25% of the bar socks, whatever. So never believe that like, oh, well, I didn't sell a pack today. But say, for example, if you sold like a 3-month subscription, somebody that renews every 3 months, then you do get income on that. So that's one way. And then the other way is if you are helping someone become a coach so they can create their business. So you're helping their business, which also helps your business. And so you make income that way as well. Especially if you have somebody that takes off and just hits the ground running, that affects your income as well. And I definitely have things around money. So I'm getting nervous talking about money.
I love it. But no, that's exactly like I said. I love you. That's it. That's basically it, right? There's those two streams. There's one that's really commission based, and when you're first starting to coach, that's where the majority of your income will come from. But the second stream is that residual income, that passive income, that when you start to grow your team and you start to have other women or men who want to do this with you and also earn income and also grow and bring other people along with them, then that's where that residual income will grow. And we talk a lot about the long-term game. Like this isn't something that like you're gonna like start. I mean, unless you go all in and you're like hustling and you're just going to town, then absolutely, like you have the power to create whatever amount of income you want. But the long-term game of like building the team and having that residual income, like that's the stuff that grows and has the massive opportunity for growth. Is that side of things. But we talk all about that in our new coach training. So if you decide to jump on with us, we go through the compensation plan. We talk about that. We talk about the importance of volume and how that creates that residual income with you not having to work. Like you go on vacation, you're still earning a paycheck kind of thing, right? But yeah, we would go into more detail about that in our new coach training. In terms of our daily actions though, I'm not watching the chat. So if there's any questions, just let me know. In terms of our daily actions, it really, the first piece is your journey. Because if you aren't committed to your journey and showing up for yourself, like you're not going to help anybody else, right? People learn to trust you with their journey when they can see you following through with yours and being consistent with yours. So a lot of our, like we have a new coach checklist. We talk all about exactly like what you have to do. You have posting guides, all those kinds of things to help you. Because at the beginning, it can be a little bit overwhelming knowing what to post or how to share and what to do. And so we have those templates for you to help you get started. But it really is helping you pick a program, helping you figure out your nutrition and showing up and posting that on social media. And when you've been able to do that consistently, then we add a little bit more pieces in terms of your daily actions. So that means, one, showing up for your journey, posting that on social media, connecting with people, and like not connecting for the purpose of like getting them to join you, but just actually having a conversation with somebody and building those relationships, because it's so icky. I'm trying to think of another word, but like when you get a message from someone who's like, hey, do this, join my team, and you've never talked to them before, like that just feels gross, right? And that's not how we roll on our team. We really want to help you build those relationships with people, because at the end of the day, you're changing someone's life, and you can't change someone's life if you don't know anything about them first, right? So really building those relationships, connecting with new people. And once you've done that, then we help you start to talk to them and invite them to do this with you, having that opportunity to do that with you. That's really how we grow. And again, it's like consistency over time, right? We teach you how to do small pockets, and you continue to, you do that over and over and over again. And that, where I am now in my business, is very different than when I started a year ago, right? But that's because I've been consistent for that time. I always talk to our coaches, our new coaches, about this analogy. It's like, imagine you're in a small town and there's 2 coffee shops, and you have your favorite coffee shop, and you go there every single day and you get your coffee every single day. And then one day it's just closed and there's like no reason for it. And you're like, what the fuck? I wanted my latte. So you're like, okay, whatever, I'll go to the next coffee shop because they're open. And then the next day you go back to your favorite coffee shop and they're still closed. So you're going to go back to that coffee shop that's open. It's the same concept with coaches. It's the same concept with posting. You show up and you post because that means your doors are open. I'm here to help you, door is open. If you're not posting consistently, your people are going to go to someone who is showing up consistently, because that's how you build trust and that's how you build a relationship, right? Does that make sense? It was like a perfect visualization for me when it was, when people told that to me. I was like, oh, okay, I get that. So visual. Okay, Eva's going to talk a little bit about what are some of the possibilities that you can have when you start coaching.
So Beachbody loves to reward.
That's true.
Loves to reward people for helping heartbeats, for helping others. When you sign up to be a new coach, within your first 3 months, if you help 3 heartbeats, that's what we like to call it on our team, because they're more than just humans that we're helping their heartbeats in their lives. If you help 3 people out per month in the first 3 months, or I think it's 3 times within your first 6 months.
6 months, yeah.
You get your ticket for Summit paid. Now, Summit is our huge, summit, where all the coaches all come together. It's a big, massive thing. I've never gone, but I get to go this year. I'm really excited with my own team. Yes. So anyway, you can get that ticket paid for. You just have to get yourself there. And there's so much just bonding, growing, learning, all the things that are going to happen there. So Ticket Summit is amazing. Another thing, you could earn a spot in a test group. So the new programs come out. There's usually 4 a year, sometimes 5. Yeah, I was going to say this year's is 5. And you can actually, by helping other people with their journeys, their lives, actually earn a spot on the test group. For a brand new program before anybody else hears about it. It's pretty amazing. As well as by helping out people every month. Again, you can earn prizes from Beachbody. We've gotten shirts and bags and sunglasses and things, like the list goes on.
I think the Theragun was my favorite. I use it every day.
Yeah, really. No, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so they really just kind of reward you, and it's really nice. The trips too. Is it leadership trip, or is it
Club? Are you talking about the Success Club trip?
Yeah. Next year's going to be in Mayan Riviera.
Yeah.
So basically, again, for helping out and hitting 3 people helping out every month. Is it 3 or 5 for the SD trip? But anyways.
So yeah, it's 3 people a month for the Success Club trip. But then if you're helping 5 people a month, then it's totally paid for completely.
Totally paid for.
Yeah.
And I think, is it always up the Hard Rock? It's an amazing place.
Amazing.
With all the coaches, super trainers are there too. You
get to drink with Joel and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
the people on our team that were like having shots of Joel by the pool.
I
And I'm
know.
like, I'm dying here. I'm like,
I know.
I want to go next year. So there is crazy opportunities for just to be rewarded for showing up and doing you and your journey. So yeah.
I feel like that's, I mean, I think we all are on our team. We're very big, like reward driven humans. I feel like you give me a t-shirt and I'll like run around in circles for it. That's just how my brain works. But I feel like in most, like in healthcare, that's what I think of. Like there's no recognition.
No.
They're like, oh, I'm sorry, did you work your full-time job? Okay,
Yeah.
now work more because
Yep.
you need to be working more. There's like nothing, right? So when I transitioned to coaching, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like I get shit for like doing my job.
Yep.
Really? It's very exciting.
Yeah.
I love it.
No, it's really, really nice for sure.
Yeah. Okay, let's check the chat real quick. My dad is a Capricorn. I have no idea what that means, Janice, but okay.
This is big about money, everything,
Oh,
money.
okay,
So
that
I have a
makes
thing
sense.
around money.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that makes sense. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about some common hesitations. So we've been around the block a little bit of time. We've talked to people. I mean, I had all these hesitations. I feel like Janice had a lot of these hesitations too. Eva, I think you were like, yeah, cool, I'm in. Like, I'm doing this.
Yeah. I didn't really have a lot of hesitations. I just like to share and do the things. And so there are people like me out there, but then there's others that really have hesitations. And yes, lay them on us, please.
Lay them on us. So I think one of them is like I don't have time is a big one. Like I hear like I don't have time to work to build another business. And what I will say after doing this for 5 years is the busiest people often make the best coaches, because what happens is you're just better at managing your time. It may not feel like you are in the moment. Like it may feel like you're like spiraling everywhere, but like you are, because you're just used to doing and juggling all the things. I think Charla, like you go to bed at like midnight and you're amazing. But we teach you in our new coach training, like really how to do those pockets of time. That's how I build my business. It's how I've done it for 5 years. I don't often have like a big chunk of time to work my business. So it's really up to you. Like you get to decide what your schedule looks like, how much or how little to do. You're kind of in the driver's seat for that. And we help you along the way. So we're like, okay, let's look at your schedule. What does your day look like? Okay, let's try this. And then you can play around with it. And if it doesn't work, then we give you the like authentic permission to be like, okay, this isn't working. Let's revamp it and find something different. But like what you get out of it is what you put into it. So you're in the driver's seat for that. Did I miss anything, Janice or Eva, about like time management? I feel like that's the big one, right? I get that one a lot from people.
But like, yes, there are so many tools and like so many ways and pockets. And I find like, there's so many strategies, but then when you come into like the team and start to connect and hear about how others kind of do their thing, and you're like, that's a great idea. I want to try that too. So like there's strategies coming like, and not overwhelmingly, but like from everywhere in an amazing way.
Totally. The other one I get is like, I'm not organized enough to do this. And I just have to say, like, you're probably in a really great place, because a lot of us struggle with like that organization piece. Janice, everybody their hands up. But that goes to show you, right? Like they're both diamond coaches on our team, and they found success, and their organization is something that they're struggling with, right? So there's still a way to do it. It doesn't have to be perfect, and you can find your way to do it. We have lots of tools. Like I even created a planner, like if you're a planner person, right? So there's lots of tools you can use to figure it out. It's just, I think the biggest piece is your mindset going into it, right? If you're like, oh, I can't figure it out, I don't have time, then that mindset piece is going to take over, because that's like your self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Whereas if you're like, I don't know how I'm going to figure it out yet, but I'm going to figure it out, chances are you're going to figure it out, right? And that's where that PB piece comes in. That's where working on yourself and your mindset comes in. All of those things come into play with Janice is just going to lay a big, thick layer of truth bomb on us right now. Tell us. I'm excited. I can tell by your face. You got to unmute yourself, love.
Okay. All right. So I just had an epiphany, and it's not just because I had a conversation earlier with someone, but I just had an epiphany about being unorganized.
Okay.
If you are somebody that's unorganized, or feel like you are unorganized, or you feel like completely chaotic or disordered or whatever when you're trying to do, and usually that's entrepreneurial types. Like I'm a contract writer.
Totally.
So I feel that way a lot. So, and I do the others. Y'all know I do the other stuff. Y'all know later what that is. But but I just realized that some of it is the like, I can't do this in my business stuff is the scrolling. And that's because when you hit overwhelm, there's I don't know if it's just gratifying to just,
it's numbing. You're numbing.
it's numbing,
right?
numbing yourself. You're not doing it with alcohol, but you're doing it
Mhm.
and you're finding those memes that are hilarious. My husband sends me like he gets a different, everybody gets the certain algorithm.
Different algorithm. Yeah.
Stuff. He
I
gets
know,
some
some's
out
rich.
of the world stuff that I don't
I
get.
know.
Like you get so consumed by wanting to feel away from that instead of actually attacking that particular issue.
Mhm.
And
So
I
true.
think that just clicked just now that that's totally what happens. So
Mhm.
I've been trying really hard lately, which is to not, even when I'm tempted. If I don't find that real sound in 5 minutes, I'm just gonna
Good job.
post some stupid video of me flapping my legs to Flap Your Wings by Nelly, and then
love it.
Instagram will take the sound away, and then I'm flapping my wings to nothing.
No sound. I love it. Oh my
So
God.
you just do it. Just like if you get into that trap, just get yourself out of that trap, do what you came there to do, and then leave.
Yeah.
Seriously.
It's so true. And I feel like it's also something we just say to ourselves, right? Like I feel like it's like this numbing activity and this numbing kind of way of talking. But that's the stuff that we work on as coaches. It is. And our team calls, like we talk about it and we encourage each other to be like own your shit. Own your shit, lay it out, because when you own it, then it has less power over you and then you can actually start to like figure it out, right? Yeah. Oh, Charlotte girl, it's right. You are in good company. It's fine. We all do it. We talk a lot about numbing because it's a thing and a lot of people do it. But that's your opportunity to change. If you don't like how that feels, if you don't like how that sits, like you are in control and we help you do that. We give you the tools to do that. So Charlotte's dying over there. She's like, yeah, hi. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. I think another one that I've gotten a lot is like, I can't do what you do. I can't do what you do. And I think people like look at see what you do on social media and judge like what that is right now for them. And they're like, girl, I can't do what you do. I started with taking pictures of my running shoes, y'all. That's where I started. I started by not looking at the camera when I took videos. I started by doing like hidden selfies, but you grow. The more you do it and the more you talk about it, the more comfortable you get and the more confident you get, right? And I think all three of us kind of have talked about how much more confident we've been since becoming coaches. And in turn, that confidence turns to more posting. You don't have to be like us. That's the beautiful thing about coaches is it's so different. Every coach is so different that you do you. You do you, and that's okay. And we really try to help you hone in on that and figure out who you is. Do you guys have anything else to share about that?
Well, piggybacking off that, right? Like the whole confidence thing and stuff, I
Mhm.
think that comes from, well, a lot of the PD, a lot of like working through everything and learning to like love yourself wholeheartedly through and through. And like for you, for your family, for everything, like, and then it just sort of builds and creeps. And then all of a sudden you're like, bam, hey, I'm doing something today that I didn't do last month or last year. And like, oh, but that's coming through the work. Yeah, not always like the posting and thing, although those things help, but it's like going through the everyday, the sharing, the grinding, all of it, and showing up in the messy and the not.
I just saw Amanda's post. It's so true. It's so true. We talk about this on all of our new coach mentorships too, right? Like we show pictures. Lindsay's pictures are my favorite because she's literally like kissing her Shakeology mug. It's like my favorite picture ever. But like I think one of the biggest things we tell everybody is you have to be willing to suck.
Yeah.
You just have to be willing to suck because when you are willing to suck, then you can only get better from there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, that's what I think anyway. What about you, Janice? Janice keeps it real, like hella real on her story. So like she just is who she is, and I love that. But I feel like that's come through coaching because like you didn't always post like that. I feel like it's been in the last like year I've noticed that big change for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty open. I've always been the TMI girl, like that.
TMI girl.
There's like a whole
I love
journey.
it.
You can watch my whole paleo journey on our old blog on Tonka Bar. So yeah, I mean, I always kind of did that. But when I completely like went out there and I'd say the things that I do and like the things that I do at home and the things I do with other like clients with the other part of my business, I think that I was afraid to do any of that or share any of that. And I think that that was the biggest piece, is that I already knew I was this person that like, this is just who I am. So it didn't really
It's
make
true.
sense that I was hiding, you know, all
Yeah.
of the things, like I was hiding a part of myself that was important to me. So yeah, I think that there's a big difference, but you're right. I
I love it.
me.
I started reading this new book. So if you are like really considering coaching, I started this new book that I love, and I shared it with our new coaches this week. It's called Be. So this is what the cover looks like. And it talks all about how you don't have to know anything other than be yourself. And what attracts people to you is authenticity, because everything on social media, not everything, because I feel like we are different, but like a lot of people just show the glossy, beautiful pictures on social media, right? They don't show the authentic, the authentic side of themselves. So when you do that, it totally shifts the energy, and people are like, damn, like I don't want to follow her. Like she's real. And that's why people follow you. So you like, it doesn't matter what your business is. It doesn't, if you are who you are and show up as that, people are going to want to join you. That's it. So this is a great book. I loved this book. I just started it. It's like a total, it's good. It's called Be, a no bullshit guide. A no bullshit guide. I just said bullshit 4 times in a recorded call. To increase your self-worth and net worth by simply being yourself, by Jessica Zwig. I love it. I will post it in our group as well. It's awesome. So that's all we got for you guys. We definitely went over time. Big shocker. All 3 of us really like to talk. So that's hilarious that we thought we were going to keep it at 30 minutes. But just know that we love what we do and we love our team. And if you decide that you want to do this with us, we are all in with you. The one thing I wanted you to take home with is the idea that if you decide to jump in, you need to commit to like 3 to 6 months minimum. That's what I said when I first started coaching. Because if you don't, if you're like, I'm going to dabble, what happens is you don't go all in. You dabble. And then you don't get the full, like, you don't allow yourself to actually experience anything because you're holding yourself back from going all in. So that was the thing that I decided when I first started coaching. I was like, you know what? I might hate this, but I'm going to do it. And I said, for me, I'm going to give myself a year. I'm going to go all in for a year. And if I don't love it, I loved it after 2 months. There are still hard days, but it's like, it's completely changed me as a human. So that's all we wanted to say with you guys tonight. We hope that you enjoyed this call. Do you have any questions for us before we hop off? You can raise your hand or just unmute yourself. I'm just checking the comments, the chat really quick, just to see, make sure I didn't miss anything. I don't think so. All right, guys. We're excited.
Yeah.
Hope you have an awesome night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.